This is the single greatest challenge we face as a country. 70,000, more than 70,000 people, Americans, died last year from fentanyl overdose deaths.
All right, that was Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas telling a Senate panel about the fentanyl crisis in the country as the flow of deadly drugs continues across our southern border. Our next guest was part of a House Ways and Means Committee delegation that recently traveled to Mexico to meet with Mexico's president about that crisis. Joining us now is Texas Congresswoman Beth Van Duyne. Congresswoman, good to see you. So you met with Mexico's president. What was that meeting like? Is he committed to solving these problems?
So the meeting was originally about, we went down as a coalition for the Ways and Means Committee. And we went down there looking at what was happening with USMCA, looking at some of the trade issues that we had, some of the requirements that Mexico was not living up to. But also during the time right before we got there, you had 4 Americans that were kidnapped, 2 of them that were murdered. Fentanyl crisis, you had 107,000 Americans who had been killed as a result of illegal drugs that are coming in over our border. You've had a number of different stories from Oregon where you had, marijuana farms and thousands of people who are working there by gunpoint in many instances. These are people who've been brought over, human trafficked over the borders. You have thousands of people, tens of thousands of people across our country, women, girls, who are being used in the sex slave trade. So, yeah, we had a lot to talk to the Mexican president about. We were hoping to have a serious conversation about how our 2 countries could work together. We share a huge border. We share multiple interests between manufacturing, food, energy. There's a lot that we could do together to be best for both of our countries. Instead, what we saw was a president who took great glee and really bloviating and lecturing to those members of Congress that we had down there about how the problem was with the U.S., how there was no crime in Mexico, how the crime was only caused by U.S. parents not being involved in their children's lives, how there were drug cartels, not in Mexico, but drug cartels in the U.S. And if there were any issues with USMCA, it's because we were misreading the agreement.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I want to read you something that he said about fentanyl in the U.S. This is the Mexican president. This is his words. Yeah. He said, there's a lot of disintegration in families in the U.S. This is him speaking about families here in America. There's a lot of individualism. There's a lack of love, of brotherhood, of hugs, of affection, of attention to youngsters. That's why we Americans, should be allocating funds to address the causes. He's blaming us, fentanyl that's coming through Mexico on us not loving our children enough.
He has a country right now, drug cartels that are basically running his country, drug cartels that are making billions of dollars at the expense of our youth. And yes, he had great glee again in telling us that this was a problem with our families. And I said, you need to talk, Mr. President, to some of the parents who are calling me, some of the parents who have children, because you're seeing fentanyl that is being laced in everything from Xanax to Adderall, that children who are studying to take their SATs, take an Adderall drug thinking that they're going to better their chances to get into a good college. They want to work with their parents. They want to be successful. And the first time they take it, they die. He needs to talk to those parents. This is a problem where he is literally having his drug cartels getting paid billions of dollars, working with China to be able to target our youth. And between he and Biden, they are the dream team, looking at hundreds of thousands of people who are either being trafficked or who are dying through their illegal drug that are coming over the border. We know where it's coming from. We know how to fix it. We've got a Texas border bill that I am really excited is going to be brought up for markup in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully, we're going to see it on the floor of the House next month. That is going to be key to being able to take over our border again. But we're not getting any kind of assistance from this president in Mexico, nor the president in the United States.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So different than the Trump administration. Congresswoman Beth Van Duyne, I can't believe what you're, you guys down in Texas, you deal with it firsthand. Thanks for being with us. Unbelievable what you saw, and thanks for sharing it with us.
Thank you very much, Sean.